Hey guys, it's Adam. It's Monday, so here's Minister's Moment. I really appreciated Mitch's sermon on Sunday on Jesus' teaching of being as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. And I thought it was really cool how, brought out that idea of what some people would think of as an opposite that really goes along well with Jesus' life and the life that he asks us to live as well. I was thinking about it, what's an example? What is a story of Jesus that really kind of puts that into practice, where he used that teaching without really spelling it out, of saying, "Hey, I'm being as shrewd as a snake and innocent as a dove here," and I thought about it, and it kind of occurred to me that one of our most well-known, really kind of favorite stories for a lot of different reasons would be the woman caught in adultery. Early morning Bible study, and hanging out with other people, and this crowd comes and drags this woman to Jesus' feet and says, "Hey, she was caught in the act of adultery. Law of Moses says we should stone her. We're already carrying rocks. What do you say?" Obviously they were using this to try to trap Jesus, to get him to say something that they could use against him. And Jesus, in his wisdom, sees what is, and knows what is going on. Funnily enough, responds with silence. They're trying to get him to say something that they could use against him, and his response is nothing, is silence. He doesn't give them anything. He just bends down, starts writing in the sand. And so they keep asking him. They're like, "Well, we got to get you to say something, Jesus." Well, I'm thinking this in their head, obviously, but we're trying to get him to say something. He's not saying anything. What? So they keep asking him and asking him and asking him. And finally, he stands up. He says, "Okay, those of you that have not sinned, that are without sin, can throw the first stone." And then goes back to drawing in the sand. And now they're all like, "Man, he said just the right thing." And so they drop the stones and they walk away. Probably a little frustrated. Some of them probably amazed that, like, "Oh, wow, that was exactly the right thing to say." And they all walk away. And he looks down at the woman caught in the act of adultery and says, "Woman, where are your accusers?" And she's like, "Nowhere, Lord. I guess they all left." And he says, "Well, neither do I accuse you. Now go and sin no more." And so, there is some instance there that she was guilty of adultery, but she walked away from this alive. And Jesus said, I don't condemn you, but go and sin no more. And that idea that he was as shrewd as a snake, that he recognized the situation for what it was, realized that they were trying to get him to say something that they could use against him, and he didn't say anything. And then he finally said the one thing that they couldn't use against him. And he said one sentence, and it completely diffused the entire situation. And the idea that as innocent or as harmless as a dove, that some translations use it there, it never really occurred to me that Jesus honestly had everyone's hearts there in mind. We talk a lot of times about how Jesus was the only one there that had the woman's heart and the woman's soul in mind. And he was really the only one that cared and concerned for her. But he also had care and concern for the accusers, for everybody else that was there as well. And one of the crazy, awesome things about Jesus is when you go to him and you interact with him and you meet him, you walk away changed. And everybody walked away from that situation changed. One way or another. I like to think now that all of those accusers that walked away and dropped their stones really honestly thought about that, because Jesus made them empathize with this woman of saying, "Okay, you've never sinned, you go ahead and throw." And then they stop and take a little personal introspective and realize, "Oh, I have sinned, and I've received mercy, and I wasn't, condemned for what I did. I received forgiveness. oh. And so everybody walks away from this situation changed. That's the way I see that he's as innocent or harmless as a dove. Everybody walked away benefited. And so I kind of have a new perspective on all this, and trying to see and to look into interactions with people, to look into a situation as we try in this world to be peacemakers, as we try to be people that sow the fruit of the Spirit into this world that needs it so much, as we try to read situations and say the right things at the right time, and know when maybe we should just shut up about something and let God work, and try to keep everybody's hearts in mind of saying, hey, Jesus died and cares about your heart, your soul, even though you're really angry right now. I get it. Maybe we walk away from this situation ourselves. We walk away from this story and say, I need a new perspective on the people around me that are accusing and using other people. God has their hearts in mind too. May we pray that God will give us shrewdness of snakes and harmlessness or innocence of doves, so that we too can have people walk away thinking on life with new perspectives that lead them to following Jesus. Love you guys. See you next time.